Have you ever experienced being forced into a concentration camp and fearing for your life every single day? In this video, we will be diving deeper into how prisoners persevere through the horror of the Nazis and the role they played while imprisoned. We now have an interview with a special guest author.
Oh hi, I didn't see you there. My name is Heather Morris and I wrote The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It's a storytelling of my friend Lael, who was imprisoned in the camp, Auschwitz-Birkenau, in the 1940s. The story goes along with a series of events from the time he gets there to when he escapes and leaves. His undeniable love for Gita, another imprisoned Jew, leads him to risking his life in order for them to be together. As readers, you are able to infer together and read Lael's every move and split-second decisions. You see flashbacks from his past life and compared to his location now. It leads to a path towards the deaths and survivals within the Holocaust. The point of view proves the significance of how history should not be repeated. It helps the prisoners get justice and appreciate for their experiences.
But Heather, how is this relevant to today's time?
It's to inform people of the Holocaust, so the history is not repeated again and we can have a nice, peaceful world.
Well, what is the Holocaust anyway? Well, it all started right here.
The Holocaust began in January of 1933 and ended in May of 1945. The Nazis believed that they were the superior race and wanted to get rid of anyone else, so they targeted anybody different from them. Their main targets were the Jews, but they also targeted gypsies, the disabled, Poles, and Jehovah's Witnesses. These people were stripped from their homes and forced into concentration camps where they were forced into labor and then eventually death. While hundreds of camps were made over the years, Auschwitz was the largest. They were forced to all shave their heads, leave their belongings and families, and wear old prisoner uniforms. They were not able to shower and were only given small rations of food. For sleeping, they were forced into wooden barracks with up to 6 people in each bed. Over 6 million people were murdered in the countless ways during this time.
Breaking news, we have live footage just in from the Auschwitz concentration camp.
Today we're seeing what it's like to be a prisoner within the Auschwitz camp in the 1940s. Start the day off by getting woken up by our capo in the mornings. Wake up! Every morning he yells and screams at us to get out of our wooden barracks that we share with 6 other prisoners. Then we go to the dining hall, where we get 1 ration of watered-down soup and stale bread. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can even get a potato in your soup. Since it's Sunday and we don't have to work, I can give you a tour of the camp. This is crematorium 1. We all know what goes on behind these doors, but we're told never to go in there, only if commanded to. It's absolutely disgusting and inhumane, but we're forced to live like this. This is our administration building. My good friend Gita works. Her friend Lael got her the job. She sits in there every day filing paperwork for the German government. This is our bathroom. We don't get stalls, sinks, or even toilets. We're treated like animals in here. This is my barrack. It gets closed throughout the day so we can't go inside, but this is what it usually looks like. On a daily basis, we're forced into hard forced labor. Our SS guards force us into working our bodies to things that they're not able to do. One time I had to walk with a boulder above my head from one end of the camp to the other. I swear that I did it 100 times. But once they thinned us all out, the SS guards gave up and let us go home. Because of my success, I get to work here, in the Canada. We sort through everyone's belongings and clothes to find money, jewels, and diamonds. I'm starving, but I already got my ration for today, so now it's time to go see my friends. Usually we just sit and talk, but sometimes the guards have entertainment for us and it's disgusting to watch. This is my classification. I have to wear this yellow stripe to show everyone in the camp that I am a Jew. At first, they gave us Star of David that we had to wear and pin to our clothes, and then they gave us a yellow and red triangle that made Star of David. Now we have this. Within these walls, I don't go by a real name. I go by this number. This is my good friend Carl. He has a green triangle on his uniform because he is a criminal prisoner. This is my friend Joseph. He has a red triangle because he is a political prisoner. There's also black triangles for the asocial prisoners, purple triangles for the Jehovah's Witnesses, and pink triangles for the homosexual prisoners. But there's very few of them here in Auschwitz. Back to my barrack before dark so I can make it in time for roll call. But thanks for coming along with me.
Welcome to Channel 9 News. Today we will be talking about The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. Oh, and we already got a question. To the viewer.
How does this book relate to the aspects of humanities?
To answer your question, viewer, we think that the novel The Tattooist of Auschwitz hits three main aspects of humanities, including religion, history, ethics, and morals. History is shown throughout the love story of Leo and Gita because it goes through the Holocaust, which is an important role in the history of Europe. Religion is also shown because during the Holocaust, many religions and races were targeted, including Jews, Jehovah's Witnesses, and some Christians. It also touches on the aspects of ethics and morals because the fact that innocent people were forced into imprisonment and danger for no reason at all goes against all ethics. The morals within the story are portrayed as work makes you free, and the prisoners were forced to live by this. We believe that this book should be added to the humanities curriculum because it is a very heartwarming story that touches many aspects of humanities. Through religion, ethics, and morals, and history, the story touches on important aspects that need to be shared and learned about. Thank you for tuning in to Channel 8.
You may be wondering, why were prisoners so important in concentration camps, and why does the Tattooist of Auschwitz even relate to this topic? Well, we'll be answering your question and many more in the next segment. The Tattooist of Auschwitz shares different questions, topics, and themes surrounding the Holocaust, both good and bad. Humans destroying humans, themes of genocide, torture, and love. With the Nazis' control over many cities in Europe, years of torture went unnoticed by the outside world, and Greater Germany could reach the goal of a master race little by little. As Greater Germany expanded, the harder it got to stop. Little revolts made by prisoners like blowing up crematoriums did damage, but not enough to free them. Now, with records of the cruel crimes the Nazis did and the effects of them on history, it will never repeat itself. Our generation and more to come will learn from the records that came from the war, and we will prevent them from ever repeating the punishments and war crimes again. Within this story, many testimonies are shared on the account of first-hand experiences. The reader is able to hear the story of survivors of the horrific events that occurred during World War II. The book gives these people the chance to have their story be told in order to show their strength during this time. This is a story that explains the real events of the Holocaust and unfolds a full story of the hard truth. A wider view of these victims are shown within the story. We get a view of what it was like to be stripped from your home and lose your entire family. Death lurked around the camps and left people fearing for their lives. As stated by a Holocaust survivor, Rosalind Haber, she says, "But the trauma of being separated from your family," she says, "never really leaves you. Those memories never fade, you know, and they will be left with scars forever and ever." Survivors like Rosalind and Lale had the chance to have their story told. It creates a deeper connection to the reader and expands on the events that occurred. This creates an ethical story for the reader.
Throughout the story of the Tattooist of Auschwitz, you're able to see a different side of the Holocaust. It begins with showing how Leo was stripped from his family and ended up in a cattle car with many other men. He then arrives at Auschwitz and is forced into the acceptance process, where he shaves his head, turns in his belongings, and is supposed to take a shower. He made friends with one man along the journey who helped save Leo when he was on the brink of death from disease. When Leo was sick, his friend Aaron showed the other prisoners that he was worth living, so they all chipped in to help him out. One prisoner decided that in order to save Leo, he must become his assistant tattooer. Leo agrees and then becomes the head tattooer after the traumatic death of his boss. While tattooing, Leo meets Gita, a young Jew who is transported to work in the Auschwitz camp. As soon as they make eye contact, he decides that he will do anything in order for them to be together. As they continue to grow closer, the hope inside of him grows stronger. He makes it his life goal to survive the camp and marry Gita and live freely along with their future children. Leo shows dignity in his job and works his tail off to become free. Along the way, Leo makes many friends, acquaintances, and deals, which proves a point to others that being kind during a tough time can save lives. Through Leo's personality, he adds to the aspects of humanities and the ethical role people have within the world. Heather Morris touches on many topics that are important for the young minds of today to understand through an interesting and intriguing novel. The story should be read around the world to teach new lessons, ideas, and kindness.